Right now, today, you could reach over and poke yourself in the ribs as hard as you want. Nothing. You won't even flinch. But if a stranger did the exact same poke, same spot, same pressure, you'd probably fall out of your chair laughing. Same finger, same spot, same amount of force. Completely different result. And you've done this experiment on yourself 1,000 times without ever once asking why it doesn't work. By the end of this video, you're going to understand something about your own brain that most people never think about. And you're going to realize your brain has been quietly protecting you from yourself since before you could even talk. Okay, so let's actually sit with how strange this is for a second. Your ribs don't know who's touching them. There's no little sensor in your skin that checks ID. A finger is a finger. Pressure is pressure. As far as the actual nerve endings in your side are concerned, your hand and your friend's hand are sending up identical information, and yet one makes you scream and one does nothing at all. Think about how weird that is compared to literally every other sense you have. If you touch a hot stove, it hurts whether you touched it on purpose or someone shoved your hand onto it. If you smell garbage, it smells bad whether you walked into it or someone waved it under your nose. Your senses are usually pretty consistent like that. Tickling is the one sensation on your entire body that only works if you don't see it coming. And that's not a small, cute quirk of human biology. That's your brain running a constant background security check on every single touch you feel, deciding in real time whether it's a threat worth reacting to. Tickling isn't really about ticklishness at all. It's about your brain's alarm system. And understanding why it ignores you, but not strangers, tells you something bigger about how your whole nervous system decides what's real danger and what's noise. Let's go back. Way back. Somewhere around a few 100,000 years ago. Early Homo sapiens. Small band, no walls, no doors, no locks. Just open ground and whatever you can build with your hands before dark. Let's say you're this guy. You're maybe 20 years old, you've got no idea what a predator even means in the abstract. You just know things with teeth exist and some of them are quiet. You're asleep, not deep asleep. The kind of half asleep everyone in your group sleeps. Because deep, trusting sleep is a luxury nobody out here can afford. And something brushes your leg. Light, barely there. Could be wind on grass, could be an insect. Could be the very tip of a claw testing whether you're worth the effort of an attack. Your body doesn't wait around to find out which. In that half second, before you're even fully conscious, every nerve ending on your leg lights up and your whole body convulses. You yank the limb away, you're upright, heart slamming, before your brain has even finished the sentence. What was that? That reflex just saved your life. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was everything. Either way, the cost of jumping at nothing is a wasted half second. The cost of not jumping at something is you don't wake up tomorrow. So evolution didn't build you to be accurate. It built you to be paranoid. Here's the actual mechanism scientists point to for how this plays out today. Your skin is covered in nerve endings tuned specifically to detect light, unpredictable touch, the kind of touch a crawling insect or a stalking animal makes, not the kind of touch a solid object makes. Some researchers connect this to the same light touch receptors involved in your body's threat detection system, the ones that are exquisitely good at picking out something small and moving against your skin. It's a system built to answer one question as fast as possible. Is this touch predictable or is it not? And unpredictable touch to your nervous system is the loudest alarm bell there is. So now fast forward slightly. You're not that same guy anymore. You're a mother in the same kind of world and your baby is a few months old lying on a mat near the fire. You reach over and tickle their belly. They shriek and kick and grab for your hand, laughing so hard they can barely breathe. Feel that for a second. That baby's whole nervous system is still under construction. They can't talk. They can't tell you when something feels good or bad. But that tickle reflex is already fully online, and here's the wild part. It's not just a threat detector anymore. It's become a bonding tool. The exact same alarm system that once existed to save your life from something crawling on you in the dark has been repurposed by evolution into one of the very first games a parent and child ever play together. That's the why it stuck around part. A trait doesn't survive for hundreds of thousands of years just because it once helped you dodge a scorpion. It survives because it kept finding new jobs. And tickling found a second job fast. It became a way for a baby with no words at all to signal, I trust you enough to let you touch me unpredictably. And I know you're not actually a threat. Every laugh is a tiny, full-body confirmation that says, this is safe, keep going, do it again. Now, here's the, wait, actually, it's more complicated part because it's not quite that simple. Not every animal that gets tickled is a parent and baby situation. Chimpanzees tickle each other as adults, roughhousing, playfighting, and it produces something that looks almost exactly like laughter. A panting sound researchers have recorded and compared directly to human laughs. Rats, of all things, show measurable ticklishness too, and researchers have documented them making high-pitched vocalizations when tickled on the belly, sounds associated with play. So this isn't just a human parents invented a cute game story. This appears to be a genuinely old, genuinely widespread mammalian circuit. Threat detection that got hijacked again and again across different species into a signal for safe social play. One more scene, different era completely. Let's jump to somewhere far more recent. A crowded medieval household, several kids sharing one bed because that's just how space worked back then. An older sibling tickles a younger one half to torment them, half to make them laugh, and the younger one is shrieking and begging them to stop while also grabbing their arm to do it again. That push-pull, please stop. Please don't stop, is the exact same ancient alarm system, just wearing a completely different social costume now. It's not about lions in the grass anymore. It's about siblings figuring out where the edges of trust and play are, using a reflex built for saving your life to instead just build a relationship. So here's where it all comes back to you, sitting right here, right now. When you try to tickle yourself, your brain does something specific. A part of your brain called the cerebellum, which is constantly tracking your own body movements, predicts the exact sensation your own hand is about to cause, in advance, down to the timing and the pressure. And because your brain already knows exactly what's coming, it quietly turns the volume down on that signal before it even fully registers. There's no surprise left to protect you from, so there's no alarm to sound. That's genuinely it. That's the whole answer. You can't surprise yourself because your own brain has perfect insider information about your own hands. It's not that your ribs are less sensitive to your own touch. It's that your brain already filed the report before your hand even landed. And when someone else touches you, a friend, a sibling, whoever, your cerebellum has no idea it's coming. No prediction, no pre-filed report, no volume turned down. Just raw, unpredictable input, hitting a system that's been trained for a few 100,000 years to treat unpredictable touch as something worth a full-body reaction. Sit with that for a second, because there's something quietly moving buried in this. Every time you laugh uncontrollably because someone tickled you, you are, in some small biological way, telling your own body, this person is safe enough that I'll let my ancient alarm system go off just for fun. You don't get tickled by strangers on the street the same way you get tickled by someone you're close to. It's not really about the physical touch at all. It's about how much your nervous system trusts the hand doing the touching. People who study this have even found that how ticklish you find a touch changes with how you feel about the person doing it. Your own body is basically keeping score of your relationships, one shriek of laughter at a time, and it's been doing that since long before you had words for love or trust or family, which is a strange, sweet thing to realize. The alarm system built to keep you alive from claws in the dark quietly turned into one of the ways you bond with the people you love. Okay, lighter note before we close, because I promised you'd never look at this the same way again. Here's the part almost nobody knows. Some robots have actually been tested for the same reflex. Researchers have run studies where a robotic arm tickles people, and it turns out people still laugh, but noticeably less than when a human does it. Even fully aware it's just a machine following a script, part of your brain still runs the same old calculation. Does this feel intentional? Does this feel alive? Does this feel like it's coming from something that could actually surprise me? Your body has been asking that same question about every hand that's ever touched you for longer than history's been keeping track. It's not going to stop asking now. If your brain has this much going on behind something as small as a poke to the ribs, imagine what it's hiding behind the stuff you actually think about every day. Subscribe, because that's exactly what we dig into around here. You'll never win a tickle fight against your own hand, but now at least you know exactly why you were always going to lose.